So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Jim McLaughlin, class of 93, and I'm the Director of Athletics here, and I want to thank everybody for joining us here to celebrate the terrific accomplishments of these young men and women. I think looking outside today, given what our spring sports teams experience, I think it's only fitting that we have a rainy day. If this was a game day right now, I'd be getting a call from our head baseball coach, Paul Mound, to say, just check the radar, it's all clearing at 2, we're going to get 2 games in today. So, but I want to thank you for being here with us and for being here throughout the weekend, which promises to be a special one. We have a number of special guests with us here today that I want to give a personal welcome to. First, our President Stephen Ainley and his wife Judith Gardner Ainley. President Ainley and his wife has provided tremendous leadership and guidance for this college over the past 8 years, and his driving force is always whatever's best for the student. I think there's not a student in here that hasn't seen him at one of his or her events, whether that be a baseball game, a basketball game, a play at the theater, and he's always there for them and does a terrific job, the both of them. I also want to acknowledge our Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Faculty, Therese McCarty. Vice President McCarty provides myself personally with so much support, and all of our coaches and all of our student athletes. The work she does behind the scenes for us is absolutely terrific, and I can't thank her enough for her leadership and support. You know, as I look back at this year, this was obviously a pretty special year for Union Athletics. And one of the things that we talked about as a staff, looking at this senior class, this being my 10th year here and the 10th banquet that we have, this is indeed one of the most special classes that I've ever seen. It was a class that helped lead us to what is arguably the best season in Union College sports history. And when you think about some of the accomplishments and what was achieved this year, we look at the baseball team that won the Liberty League championship and had the best season in the history of their program. Went to the NCAA tournament for the very first time. We had the track and field teams and the swimming team break numerous school records. We saw the women's ice hockey team set a record for most wins in the Division I era. We saw the men's lacrosse team put in the best season in the history of the program, a great run through the NCAA playoffs that ended as one of the final 8 teams in the country. And we also saw the men's ice hockey team capture Union College's first national championship in more than 85 years. And they did it in resounding fashion over hockey royalty Boston College in Minnesota. And while we love to celebrate those achievements, and everyone in this room, including myself, wants to win every time we step in the pool, on the court, or on the playing fields, what makes it so special for us and what our faculty, our staff, our alumni, and all of our student body can take so much pride in is what these students are doing outside of the court, outside of the playing fields, off the ice. They achieve excellence in the classroom and are model citizens in the community that are fully integrated into our community. As I look at some of the accomplishments from this past year, the first one comes to mind is Ashley Johnston, the captain of our women's ice hockey team, who did a terrific job leading that group. But she was also one of only 3 individuals that was invited to the NCAA Men's Basketball Division I Final Four to present at the Innovation Summit along with students from Princeton and Stanford. And this was a result of her senior project and what she was working on. And what she was working on with Professor Busanel was to develop an adjustable prosthetic for children. Seeing some of the challenges that families faced with the increasing expenses every year having to replace prosthetics. So I give her a lot of credit for what she did there and for representing Union in such a positive way. I think about students like Amy Loya. Amy was the captain of our women's basketball team, did a terrific job in a leadership role, but just a few weeks ago in this very building here, she was awarded the college's top prize in getting the Bailey Prize. And the Bailey Prize is given to the senior student who makes the most significant impact on the campus community in any field. So we couldn't be prouder for Amy for that. I also look to what our students do to support each other, and this year was no different than in past years. I look at some of the challenges faced by some of our student athletes, Nate Greenberg and Justin Lloyd, and the support of the lacrosse team and the baseball team in coming together to support those families, support those individuals for two young student athletes who are going through a very difficult time battling cancer. And the support that they gave and the money they raised was so helpful in helping them move forward. And then all of our teams that participated with Kristen's Cause effort. Kristen's Cause is an effort for individuals to help support the daughter of one of our staff members here on campus, Kristen Scheinebarger, who was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. And led by the efforts of Caitlin Suarez, our department, our student athletes primarily, has raised more than $40,000 to support her efforts to help with increased medical bills and all the other things that go along with it. So it's just a testament to what we subscribe to here, which is excellence in the classroom, excellence on the playing fields, and excellence in the community. And I couldn't be prouder of what the student athletes and coaches have achieved in that regard. And when we think about it, we always hear the phrase, it takes a village, and it certainly does. And there are so many individuals in this room that make that happen. So many of the athletic staff members that I want to personally acknowledge. First, my associate and assistant athletic directors, Joanne Little, Adam Brinker, and Beth Tiffany. There's our sports information directors, Eric McDowell, Dan Jankowski, and Chris Nolt, who do such a terrific job. You'll hear about many of the awards that these young men and women have won, and it's a result of their efforts of putting the information together, nominating these individuals, and helping them out. They do a terrific job. One point of note that I want to get out there, Eric is our assistant AD for sports information and always does such a great job of promoting our students, our department, and our college. And I think it's time we give him a little plug here. Just this past week, he was chosen as the president of the COSIDA National Organization for all divisions 1, 2, and 3, making him the first SID from the Division III area to lead that organization. So congratulations. There's our facility staff, Al, Pete, Barry, and Ron. The job that they do to make sure that our student athletes have first-class facilities is second to none, and we really applaud and appreciate their efforts for what they do there. And a critically important group, the coaches, who have done just a terrific job of embracing their role as more than somebody who teaches X and O's. They're mentors, they're teachers, they're educators that play an integral role in the undergraduate experience of our student athletes here. So I want to thank the coaches for that. In quick recognition, we had 2 coaching staffs that were recognized as coaching staffs of the year from men's and women's swimming and diving, Scott Felix and his staff. And from men's ice hockey, Rick Bennett and his staff. And finally, the most important group that's here today that I want to thank for first choosing Union, for sticking with this athletic department, the programs and the coaches, and for representing us so well each and every day in everything that you do. And that's our student athletes that are here today. We're going to hear much more in the individual awards session of this about our student athletes, and I look forward to all of you joining me for that. But now what I'd like to do is I'd like to bring up our first guest to provide his remarks, somebody who's been a great supporter of our department and the student athletes, our president, Stephen Ainley.
Good afternoon. It's great to be with all of you for this wonderful celebration of what indeed is a truly remarkable year. So the first thing I want to do is say congratulations to all the senior athletes. What Jim McLaughlin just said is absolutely true. You've had such a remarkable season in so many ways that alone is worth celebrating. The second thing, though, that I want to do at the outset is to thank the person who's been doing all the thanking, and that is the person who I consider to be the best athletic director in all of college athletics at any division, Jim McLaughlin. Please join me in thanking him. You know, this has been a wonderful year in so many ways, as I said, and there have been so many wonderful stories, not just the wins, but also some of the awards that have been received that have brought remarkable distinction to Union College. But one thing sort of stood out to me throughout the whole year for a reason that I want to explain to you, and that was after the men's championship over Minnesota, I was interviewed by a reporter from the Associated Press. And we talked, for about a half hour or so about Union athletics and so forth. And he's finally stopped me in the interview and he said, "You keep referring to student athletes." He said, "In this day and age, isn't that a disparaging phrase?" And it actually threw me back on my heels. Well, it didn't actually throw me on my heels. I was sitting in my car on my cell phone, but you get the point. I said to him, in what world do you live that the phrase student athlete would be a disparaging phrase? I said, are you talking about the world that boasts an 8% graduation rate? Are you talking about the world where student athletes want to be reclassified as employees? I said, you're not talking about Union College. You're not talking about the student citizen athletes that I'm proud to represent. And I think the most fundamental thing I want to say to you is, it is not you. You represent something to me that is really the crux of what is at stake in terms of collegiate athletics today. I think that all too many programs across this country have in fact turned to a kind of attitude toward what you represent that in the minds of some people is in fact disparaging, but never, ever, ever be anything but extraordinarily proud of what it is you accomplish every day of the year at Union College and as an athlete of Union College. That's something you should hold on to, because John Feinstein in his book The Last Amateurs describes you the best. He says that you play for honor and you play with honor. That's something to me that you'll always be proud of. In fact, Teresa McCarty just wrote a piece that appeared on the back cover of the Chronicle of Higher Education, which is one of the most important publications in all of higher education. And she talked about you, and she talked about the importance of doing athletics right. And part of doing athletics right is that you report, whether you know it or not, bureaucratically through academic affairs. That's a rarity in the modern world, but it's something that I'm extraordinarily proud of. It is about doing it with honor and for honor. And for all that, you have my admiration, you have my greatest thanks. I'm extraordinarily proud of what you've done. And I know, and this is the final thing I wanted to say, I know how difficult it is to commit yourself to excellence in all things. But that is exactly what you chose when you came to play at Union College. So thank you very much, and again, congratulations. It's also, though, my honor to get to present the first of the awards that will be given today, and that is the Presidential Award for Academic Achievement, which goes to the team with the highest in-season GPA, and that award this year goes to women's indoor track, and Coach Dave Rigby will accept the award.
So thank you, President Ainley, for all the support you continue to provide for all of our student athletes here and to continue to reinforce the message of what we're about. I'd like to bring up our next guest, and I'll warn you up front, you're in for a treat here. And follow closely. Our Sports Information Director, Eric McDowell, is going to attempt to do the year in review in under 5 minutes. So good luck.
Welcome, everyone. So here we stand with another year in the books. As the memories flow through our heads and I see your looks, your student-athlete predecessors were emotional on this farewell day, you see. But I doubt in 1860 anybody gave them a goodbye tribute with poetry. Jesse was cool again with the best cross-country men's show in 15 years. And Finnitz waved to opponents as he passed by to finish ahead of his peers. Nailing nailed down a super senior cross-country season to end. Zimmerman and Suarez dipping into community service we could always depend. 9 national academic field hockey honors, including Deegan, McCune, and Flake. And Merigliano and Deegan, both 4-year starters in the SID office, you rake. Miley on one line, Leibowitz on the other, made it ugly up front for our foes. And Hayes, stop musing, for Thomas's runs made it no bed of roses. At 12, 3 and 2, a 7th straight 10-win Dutchman soccer season, do me a favor. Gloat about Vozella with a constant classroom stud, and the league's best, a Faber. A Dutch women's senior soccer class that went, wow, 50, 19, and 1. It was tough for teams to fish for goals. We'll also miss Cohen and Gorka a ton. The most wins for the Dutch women since 2000 around the tennis net. Academic shine for Ertil and Lowe. Pronchek, the first league all-star? You bet. Wyman and Woods lead volleyball to the Liberty League Championship Day. Vollmer is all-league, ECAC, AVCA, and Academic All-District. Quite a year, I'd say. Need a basketball win? Turn to Mr. Winnie, and the home scoreboard lights on. And the future looks bright also with Weckworth and a Burgess named Deshawn. Leone an all-star, and Schmier was in gear with 7 seniors evermore. To Miss Loya, remarkable service, fittingly brought you to the epic Final Four. Who is Union? Bodie, Ghost, and Stevens showed them who, and a team showed how. Cups for Cleary, Whitelaw, and in Philly with a national title, they took a bow. Thompson is MVP, Lundberg saves lead the Dutch women's most wins on ice. Miss Johnston's humanitarian heroics brought her to a Final Four, too. How nice. NCAA individual All-Americans for Wall and Welsh in the pool for the men. And they were in the medley for All-Americans with Enquist and Nadareski. Now that's Ben. Demet dove into the NCAAs. Belforti and Clegg swam strong. And wow, I now see another great year for her, and I finally found a way to rhyme with Trojanowski. It was the Kazim Show, again, smashing records indoors on the track. With Davis, Pierre, and Zorn, the Dutchman timer surely had a knack. Relay on the news of Dutch women's stars Suselska, Najar, and Fries. Breaking her own record weekly, it was the league Rookie of the Year that Beishu did seize. Caruso, Fishman, and Peretti helped lead baseball's first Liberty League crown. O'Neill and Curran joined in as the first NCAA playoff since 1965 came on down. They were joined in the NCAAs by the 9th-ranked Laxmen, also a program best in wins. 12 seniors in All-American seasons for Basile, Sands, and Quinn. A Liberty League honor and Gilman Bowl to the fine Dutchman crew. Greg Bren was All-League, and a dozen received All-Academic honors, too. 7 team first in 5 events. Hafkemeyer, a Liberty League star honor, she did gain. For community and leadership and academics, I tip my oar to you, Miss Cozane. Golf weathered a rough weather spring with solid putts, drives, and chips. With Erickson and Babiak joining Hines, the ball found the fairways, greens, and cups. All-American, All-Region, and All-League in a remarkable year for McGrail. A league title game thanks also to Comiskey, DeSimone, and Gould. We hail. First team softball stars honors went to Corbin, Stats, and Shalafo. 22 wins, boosted by Captain Paleshi and the bat and arm of Waleko. For the first time in 9 years, a Dutchman earned league honors, Mr. Moore. Also for men's tennis, the all-academic team featured a great group of 4. He led the JAV Nation after the ECACs and went to the NCAAs, did Goldstock. Outdoor track and field Dutchmen who impressed were Dulcimer Scolo and Chuck. Puglia also jammed in the javelin, and Dio jumped high for the outdoor season. And with many fab freshmen, just watch the future. We're excited for a good reason. Over 100 seniors. So many, like Herzog, Ikola, Brusel, and DeRozier. Athletics, academics, service. Are we proud of you? Why, sure. So many highlights to promote. And thanks to my folks, Daniel and Chris. So what better way to wrap up 2013-14 than to seal it with a kiss?
Great job as always, Eric, but I think that the bigger picture here is now you get an idea of how hard it is for us to recruit students here because we have to make sure their last names fit in with our poll. So it's really tricky. This year we implemented a new program by establishing a chapter of Chi Alpha Sigma, and it's the first National Scholar Athlete Society to honor student athletes for their performance in the classroom and for their performance on the field. And when I say, I shouldn't say the word we, because it was actually a student athlete from the women's crew team, Elena Cozane, along with her mentor, our volleyball coach, Melissa Duran, who initiated this whole process because they wanted to honor the best and brightest. So first I want to thank and acknowledge Elena and Melissa for their efforts. And I'd like to recognize all of the individuals that will be inducted into Chi Alpha Sigma, our first class this year. And I'm going to plan on reading each one's name. If you would please stand and hold your applause to the end. Chi Alpha Sigma recognizes student athletes for outstanding academic achievement. These are students that all have above a 3.5 GPA. They're varsity letter winners, and they're voted upon by their coach as individuals with outstanding character. And I couldn't be more pleased to welcome this year's first class. So if you would please stand and remain standing. From the baseball team, Dane O'Neill. From women's basketball, Kim DeRozier. From women's cross country, Elizabeth Nailing. From women's cross country and indoor and outdoor track, Kara Zimmerman. From men's crew, Greg Bren. Again from men's crew, Nick Bren. From women's crew, Caitlin Collins. Women's crew, Rhea Howard. Also from women's crew and the initiator of this program, Elena Kozane. From field hockey, Kate Deegan. Also from field hockey, Alexander Flake. From football, Mike Maselli. From women's golf, Marissa Peck. From men's hockey, Dan Carr. From men's hockey, Cole Ikola. From women's hockey, Elsa Brussel. Men's lacrosse, Pat DiBenedetto. Men's soccer, Dean Constant. Women's soccer, Kelsey Fish. Women's soccer, Carolyn Gorka. Also from women's soccer, Melissa Cinto. Men's swimming, Tim Cameron. Men's swimming, Adam Herzog. Women's outdoor track, Rachel Geselter. And from volleyball, Marissa Vollmer. A round of applause for this talented group of us. Now I'd like to get into our awards portion of the program, and a majority of these awards are going to our student athletes, but a number of years back we initiated a new award called our Athletics Appreciation Award for an individual who goes above and beyond for our student athletes. And this year was a pretty easy choice for us. We have an individual in our facility staff department who works tirelessly to make sure that our facilities are in top-notch condition. He's been with us for a number of years. He's developed tremendous relationships with our student athletes and would do whatever he could to support them in their initiatives and achieving their goals. From our facility staff, Peter Ibe. The Terry Lynch Jackie Haverkamp Katita Memorial Award, presented to the freshman female athlete who has shown leadership qualities as well as a commitment to sportsmanship. This year's recipient from the track and field team already holds 5 school records in varying events, and she is only in her first year. She was a 5-time Liberty League Rookie of the Week, the Liberty League Rookie of the Year in indoor track, and carries a GPA of 3.8 in the field of psychology. This year's recipient, which will be accepted by head coach Dave Riggy, Naomi Beishu. The Freshman Athletic Prize, presented to a freshman male athlete for attitude, ability, and achievement in intercollegiate competition. This freshman baseball standout was a dual threat for the Dutchman, dominating both at the plate and on the mound. Offensively, he batted .400, and on the mound he went 7-0 with a 2.29 ERA as the team's #1 pitcher. He was named American Baseball Coaches Association, ECAC Upstate New York, D3Baseball.com, as well as Liberty League Rookie of the Year and All Liberty League First Team. A managerial economics major from the baseball team, award accepted by head coach Paul Mound, Jake Fishman. Not so fast. The Freshman Scholar Athlete of the Year Award, and this is the one that encompasses excellence on the playing field and excellence in the classroom. This year's recipient started all 39 of the Dutchman's baseball games and was the cleanup hitter, batting .326, and led the team in RBIs. He was a second-team All-Liberty League selection and is a member of the Leadership in Medicine program, where he possesses a 3.96 GPA. Please welcome from the baseball team, Kent Curran. The Female Sophomore Athletic Prize, presented to a sophomore female athlete for achievement in intercollegiate sports. This year's award winner was a major contributor to the women's basketball program, where she was the third leading scorer and shot 45% from the field and was named to the Liberty League honor roll twice during the season. She is a member of the Scholars Steering Committee, a tutor in the Writing Center and at local elementary schools. She's an economics major with a 3.9 GPA. From the women's basketball team, Kaylin Schmier. The Harold R. Moore Sophomore Athletic Prize, presented to the top sophomore male athlete. This runner turned in the best season in the past 15 years on the trails and was named Team MVP. He was the overall winner of the Mount St. Mary Invitational that included a field of more than 150 runners and holds a number of school records. A mechanical engineering major with a 3.8 GPA from the men's cross country team, Jesse Kuhl. The Sophomore Scholar Athlete of the Year. This year's recipient was a major force on the blue line in helping the hockey program to a national championship. He assisted on the game-winning goal against Minnesota and was the co-recipient of the Thomas Van Arden Ducart Award for the team's highest GPA. This neuroscience major with a 3.85 GPA plans to pursue a career in medicine upon graduation. From the men's ice hockey team, Sebastian Gingras. Our next award is the ECAC Medal of Merit, presented to the junior female athlete who has achieved excellence in intercollegiate sports. This year's recipient was a force on the softball field in her first year playing with the team. She was a major contributor on a team that competed in the Liberty League tournament. She led the league in home runs, RBIs, total bases, and slugging percentage, and was named to the first team Liberty League and ECAC All-Star team. Please welcome Camille Corbin from the women's softball team. Coach Connors, that was great recruiting to find a junior on campus that led the league in every category, so let's hope there's more of them out there. The William A. Pike Award, presented to a junior male athlete for achievement in intercollegiate sports. This year's recipient received virtually every accolade that could be bestowed upon him. He was a member of the ECAC Hockey First Team, ECAC Co-Best Defenseman of the Year, ECAC Co-Player of the Year, Most Outstanding Player of the NCAA Frozen Four, a First Team All-American, and a Hobey Baker finalist. Please welcome Shane Gostisbehere. The Junior Scholar Athlete of the Year Award for outstanding performance in all areas. This individual was the Unsung Hero Award winner for the 2013-14 season, helping the women's ice hockey team to the most wins in their Division I era. She led the team in faceoffs and was the second leading scorer overall. A biology major for the women's ice hockey team, Christine Valente. Our next award is the Award for Leadership, and we have two individuals that are very deserving of this award. The first is a junior on the women's cross country and track and field teams. Last year, she was a finalist for National Student Athlete Giant Steps Award and is co-president of Colleges Against Cancer and has been instrumental in raising awareness and funds for cancer research. She is the key organizer of the annual Dutchman Dip, which has benefited Kristen's Cause, Memorial Sloan Kettering, and Mass General Hospital. She has provided great support for members of our community that have dealt with all the challenges that go along with battling cancer at a young age. She is a geology major with a 3.5 GPA, Caitlin Suarez, accepting Dave Riggy. Dave, this makes up for all the awards you didn't win in your senior year, so. Our second recipient is also a member of the women's cross country and track and field teams. She is a member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, the Athletics Liaison Committee. She is an organizer and volunteer for Meals on Wheels, along with the local Albany Marathon. She does all of this, competes in 3 sports, and is also a member of the Leadership in Medicine program with a 3.8 GPA. Please welcome Kara Zimmerman. The Women's Commission Senior Athletic Award to the female senior who has done the most to promote athletics for women at Union. This year's recipient is a 2-time captain of the women's basketball team, and I wanted to read a piece from her nominator and senior thesis advisor, Professor Deidre Hill Butler. During her time at Union College, Kelsey has gained a great deal of knowledge and passion for sociology, particularly in the realm of gender issues. Kelsey's senior thesis is impressive. Her analysis merges her passion for empowering women with her love and her knowledge of gender issues. The main focus is on post-Title IX portrayals of female athletes in the media. Her thesis involves comparing the growing number of female connections between traditional notions of masculinity and femininity in the world of sport. Kelsey has taken several classes in sociology that overlap race, class, and gender. She has also excelled in courses based on the historical thought of sociology, as well as qualitative and quantitative research. Kelsey's GPA for her sociology major is an impressive 3.65. From the women's basketball team, please welcome Kelsey McDonald. The William B. Jaffe Class of 1926 Athletic Award, presented to our top senior male athlete. This year we have 2 recipients. The first recipient was a speedy deep threat as a receiver on the football field and spent his winter and spring seasons as a captain with the track program. He was the Liberty League champion in the 100 and 200 meters, along with the New York State champion in the 100 and 200 meters. He holds 5 school records and was the runner of the meet at the Liberty League and New York State championships. a mechanical engineering major from the men's track and field and football teams, Tosin Kasim. Our second recipient will go down as one of the greatest team leaders in any sport in the history of Union. A two-time captain that led Union to its first national championship, he was the second leading scoring defenseman in the country, averaging nearly a point in every game. He was a member of the ECAC first team, the ECAC NCAA Regional and NCAA Frozen Four All-Tournament team. He was a first-team All-American, a second-team Academic All-American, and a member of the ODK Leadership Society. An economics major with a 3.4 GPA from men's ice hockey, Matt Bodie. The Robert M. Ridings Memorial Award, presented to our top female senior student athletes. And like the men, we also have two very deserving recipients. Our first recipient was the backbone of the women's soccer team, leading them to their 18th straight winning season. She was the team captain and started 47 games in her career and was recognized as the team MVP and Liberty League All-Star. A sociology major with a 3.67 GPA from the women's soccer team, Kelsey Fish. Our second recipient turned in stellar performances for the women's volleyball team in leading them to the Liberty League Championship match and a 22-win season. She led the defense that ranked first in the conference and led the league in digs for 3 straight years. She was a team captain, member of the Minerva House Social Committee, and has been a full-time intern for the past 2 years at ICO. She was a 3-time conference award winner, an American Volleyball Coaches Association Regional All-American, COSIDA Academic All-District Team member, and a double major in math and economics with a 3.5 GPA. From women's volleyball, Marissa Vollmer. The award for service, outreach, and leadership. This individual had a stellar 4-year career on the ice and captained the women's hockey team her senior year. She was a candidate for the 2014 Hockey Humanitarian Award as a result of her service efforts. She was a volunteer with Adopt a Family, Habitat for Humanity, and the annual Stride Dance, a prom for children with special needs. She was the founder of Community Ball Hockey in Schenectady, a volunteer with Asperger's Syndrome support and cancer patient support, and also spent countless hours tutoring local elementary school children in English and math. She was one of 4 student athletes from across the country to attend the NCAA Final Four Innovation Summit to showcase her work for her senior project in mechanical engineering on adjustable prosthetics. She is someone who has truly made a difference in our community and beyond, and will continue on as she pursues her PhD at RPI. From the women's ice hockey team, Ashley Johnston. was all great until I ruined it at the end with that RPI word, but I'm confident she'll bleed Gornet throughout. The Award for Academic Excellence. 2 recipients again this year. Our first recipient is the captain of the women's golf team. She is majoring in anthropology and has a 3.85 GPA and is Phi Beta Kappa. She was a UDAL scholar and spent a year abroad in Ecuador. She is the Education and Outreach Chair of U-Sustain that has worked at reducing our carbon footprint on campus and has been the recipient of a Presidential Green Grant. From the women's golf team, Marissa Peck. Our second recipient was an assistant captain and another of the key leaders for men's ice hockey. He was chosen as one of 10 finalists for the NCAA Senior Class Award and was a senior class second team All-American. He was finalist for the ECAC Hockey Student Athlete of the Year and also named as one of 18 candidates nationwide for the Hockey Humanitarian Award. He was the recipient of the Charles M. Morrison Scholarship and a member of the ODK Leadership Society. A managerial economics major with a 3.82 GPA, Cole Ikola. And our final award, the Senior Scholar Athlete of the Year. It's our top award given to one male and one female each year. And needless to say, we have 2 deserving individuals and many others that are sitting in this audience. The first recipient was one of the key leaders of the swimming and diving teams. At the New York State Swimming Championships, he broke team records in the 200 free and 500 free, eventually winning the states in the 500 free. He is a mechanical engineering major with a 3.84 GPA, someone who has worked with a team of 3 other senior mechanical engineers during the past 3 terms, designing a prototype airplane in preparation for the SAE Aero competition in Marietta, Georgia, where his team placed 10th overall. From the swimming and diving team, please welcome Adam Herzog. Our second recipient was the captain of the women's basketball team, where she led the team in scoring, earned team MVP and Liberty League honors. She was the past president of the Northeast chapter of Best Buddies and a student counselor at the EDGE camp, educating girls in engineering. She was a volunteer for Habitat for Humanity, Toys for Tots, and Hurricane Irene cleanup efforts. She was the president of the Biomedical Engineering chapter and named to the WBCA Good Works team for her service, and was one of only 10 players from all of Divisions 1, 2, and 3 to be honored for this achievement at the Women's Basketball Final Four. She was also the recipient of the college's most prestigious award on Prize Day, the Bailey Prize, signifying the student that has made the greatest contribution in any field to the college. From women's basketball, Amy Loya. So now to give remarks on behalf of the student athletes, I'd like to invite first Amy Loya and then Cole Ikola to the podium.
Good afternoon, President Ainley, Mrs. Ainley, Therese McCarty. Jim McLaughlin, Beth Tiffany, Joanne Little, Eric McDowell, members of the athletic department, coaches, family, guests, and my fellow NARPs. For those of you who aren't familiar with that acronym, NARP stands for Non-Athletic Regular Person, and is the category we affectionately place ourselves under as retired athletes. At this point, although we have all defined ourselves as NARPs and accepted this title, what does this really mean, or what do we do now? Well, looking back on 4 years as a member of the women's basketball team, I've learned some personal lessons. For example, you do go to the hospital when your team passes out from dehydration. You do not when you roll your ankle in Davidson. If you have a team party in your room in Fox, wait until after it is over before you recycle in front of the RA. I don't care what Cheryl says, but the only way out of the pool during her swim workouts is kind of like a beached whale method. You can't do a push-up to get out of the pool. The best remedy to a bad day of practice is an ice bath, to dance like no one is watching, to belt it out like Cher, or to just screw it and go to Chipotle. I will never eat another sub or another slice of pizza from Sergi's Pizza in Potsdam, New York, and I will probably never go back to Potsdam, New York. Everyone has his or her role, whether it is forming the best scout team in the Liberty League to practice against, or to throw up a prayer of a bank shot to win against RIT. If you ever need to talk to the best listener on campus, call Coach Mike Smith. He will put his phone up to his right ear and let you vent for hours. But do you want to know his secret? He's deaf in his right ear. And finally, something I think we can all relate to is our uncanny ability to recite the best motivational quotes from our coaches and then use it against them. Never let them see you sweat. Control the things you can control. Find a way or make a way. And anyone can do one more. I will leave it up to your imagination as to what other scenarios in life those can be applied to. But it's funny because after having it ingrained in our heads that hard work pays off and if you believe it, you can achieve it, I can't remember one box score or one statistic. I can't really go back further than this year to rattle off which games were wins and which games were losses. So does that mean that all these hours were put in for nothing? Yes, that's why Cole speaks next. He won the national championship. No, of course not. All of the work that we put in and all the sacrifices we made to be a student athlete at Union College was for the love of the game. This quote is used over and over again, but it is something I had to remember as I walked into my locker room on senior day, knowing that we weren't making playoffs and that this would be the last time I would play at the Vanier Center. Mia Hamm said, "Somewhere behind the athlete you've become and the hours of practice and the coaches who have pushed you is a little girl who fell in love with the game and never looked back. Play for her." That is exactly what all of us as athletes have been doing since we first held a ball, a stick, or a glove. We chose to skip sleepovers with our friends so that we could spend countless hours driving to tournaments with our parents. We were those kids who always had scrapes on our knees, and that was a sign of a successful day at play. The worst words I will ever hear still are "B-Dog, 10 minutes on the clock, please." And the best words I will ever hear are "to the middle," signaling that practice is over. I didn't sprint until my legs were numb because I was being paid to do it. I did it because I could look into any one of my 18 unofficial sisters' eyes and know that we were going to get better and we were going to do it together. I did it for the opportunity to simply play and for the privilege of being a part of this Union family. On this campus, it didn't matter if your team was 19-0 or if you were 0-19. We were a part of a community that was connected by something as subtle as bumping into a fellow athlete in class and saying, "Hey, great game last night." Countless faculty members realized their newfound love for an athletic event just because they had a member of the team in their class. Bob Souls and the Career Center's support of the athletic department is a big reason why some of us have jobs for next year. Angela Tatum and the Kenny Community Center showed us that gratitude is a look that never goes out of style, so it is important to give back to those who have been supporting us along the way. I don't know how many other NCAA teams can say that President Ainley sits 5 rows behind their bench at each home game, but thank you for doing that because I don't think Coach Burt has gotten a technical sense. Regardless, all of these people lent a helping hand in our growth as individuals, and sports are what brought them to us. So to answer my initial question, what do we do now? I want to share something I learned while I was at the women's basketball Final Four as a member of the All-State Good Works team. I had the opportunity to meet Tamika Catchings, one of the most influential people in the realms of both women's basketball and community service. Tamika Catchings played basketball for the University of Tennessee from 1997 to 2001, and then went on to play in the WNBA for the Indiana Fever. Although this was the beginning of a career filled with Player of the Year recognitions, Team USA Olympic gold medals, and record-breaking statistics, Tamika is best known for her contributions through the Catch the Stars Foundation. When she addressed the Good Works team and myself, she reminded us that as athletes, it is our obligation to be role models for others. Whether it is the youth of the community or our younger teammates, people are always watching us and learning from us. Therefore, it is important to be mindful of our words and actions as we become successful outside of Union and gain more privileges. Every contribution and every decision we make becomes a part of our timeline that is our handprint, and it continues to mark where we've been. These memories and lessons that accumulate form the stamp that we will leave as our legacy. Just as we grow, so does our story, that is our handprint. But what must be acknowledged about this simple and innocent comparison of a handprint to a legacy is that we leave our handprint on anyone we meet. Every once in a while, it is necessary that we look down at our handprint to make sure that it conveys the right message. Handprints are also an exchange between what is given to you and what you are able to pass on to others. Union College has left its handprint on us. And like Coach Burt says at the beginning of every recruiting visit, the hardest thing is getting into Union, and the second hardest thing is leaving. So now, let's go leave our handprints on someone else. Thank you, and congratulations to my fellow NARPs.
Thank you, Amy, for all that you've done for our college and our campus. Next, I'd like to bring up Cole Ikla.
Pretty tough speech to follow. First and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone in this room for allowing me to speak today, fellow student athletes and the athletic department. When Eric McDowell approached me 3 weeks ago and told me I'd be giving a speech here, I was real nervous and still am, so bear with me here. That being said, I'm incredibly humbled to be granted this opportunity. I speak on behalf of every student athlete here, knowing the positive experiences I've had are very similar to yours. This year, in our senior seasons, we saw our baseball team have the best season in program history, winning the Liberty League championship and earning a spot in their first NCAA tournament. Our men's lacrosse team had their best season as well, advancing to the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament. The women's softball team made it to the semifinal game in the Liberty League tournament with 6 players qualifying for the All-Star team. And lastly, our men's hockey team winning the national championship. These are just some of our numerous accomplishments as a student body this year. We are all here at Union because we were fortunate enough to play the games we love at the collegiate level. While playing professionally is in the cards for a few of us next year, the majority of us chose Union for what it offers outside our athletics. Here we can take advantage of the alumni network, small class sizes, knowledgeable professors, and along with countless other factors. And because of this, when looking past all of our accomplishments athletically, we were also able to succeed academically and acquire reputable employments, volunteer opportunities, and grad school positions. Personally, I don't know what I would have done without hockey over the past 4 years. I formed unbreakable relationships with my countless teammates, made unforgettable memories on the road trips and 6 a.m. workouts, and enjoyed every second of playing at Messer Rink. But most importantly, it is hockey that has developed me into the person I am today. I will never forget the first time I came to Union on an unofficial visit. driving in off 890 with my mom. We all know Schenectady wasn't the nicest town 4 years ago. Immediately, my mom said that I will not be coming to Union without even stepping foot on the campus. However, it took less than an hour for Coach Bennett to sell me and my parents on the college and what it has to offer. I learned this on this unofficial visit that Union is a community of educators, employees, students, and athletes that are all driven by the same goal of success, whether it be academics or athletics. But what exactly is it that makes Union so special? What drew us to choosing this school? I believe a quote from President Ainley in a recent video answers this perfectly. There's a fundamental message about excellence in all things, in some sense meant to be an inspiration to everyone, and whether they're an athlete or not, I think Union demonstrated to a lot of people that it is still possible to be excellent in the classroom and in your sport. The idea of being excellent in all things is a message that we hope every one of our students internalizes. Union allows you to be excellent in whatever field you choose. And for many of us here, we found multiple ways to be excellent. Take, for example, fellow speaker Amy Loya, who was selected as a recipient of the Women's Basketball Coaches Association Good Works team. Or Ashley Johnston, who was one of 4 student athletes from across the United States to participate in this year's NCAA Final Four Innovation Summit. Union holds the tools to develop some of the best student athletes in the NCAA and offers every single one of us the opportunity to help in the community, study what interests us, and become model citizens. It took me a while to think about what I would talk up here, and with a little help from Amy, I realized the national championship is an accomplishment worth speaking of. On behalf of the hockey team, I would like to be the first to recognize that it wasn't just what our team accomplished out there. It is what we accomplished as an institution. On Google, if you search Union College National Championship, you're bound to find the metaphor of David and Goliath. Look at the stats comparing us with Minnesota. 2,200 students to over 30,000. 1 NHL draft pick compared to 13. No athletic scholarships to almost a full roster of scholarships. And an athletic budget that is comparable to these schools' hockey budgets alone. So what gives us all a competitive advantage in our sports? I believe it is the community that fills our venues every single game and allows us to support them when they need it. It is the students that give us the home rink, field, or court advantage, and in the classroom allow us to grow intellectually with them. It is the professors that support all of us, allowing us to balance athletics and academics at such a demanding institution. It is the Union staff that connects us with alumni, maintains our facilities, and smoothly transitions us into the next stage of life after college. It is our athletic director, training staff, and coaches that take care of everything we need off the field, so all we have to worry about is playing our game. And finally, it is our president, who sits front row at every game, provides us with the resources to compete with larger schools, and acts as a role model for all of us to live up to. This national championship truly exposed what it means to be a Union College student athlete. We all have the same trainers, coaches, values, and expectations, and at the end of the day, we are all part of the same Union athletic community. There are a lot of things I remember from that championship game, but none are clearer than the images of support from campus and from alumni across the country. I remember seeing the videos of the celebration at Rookies after beating Boston College on the bus ride back to the hotel. The jungle of a fan section before the Minnesota game that may have been outrivaled in size, but definitely not in noise. More videos on Facebook after our championship game of the campus riots. The massive alumni waiting for us in the hotel lobby, and the crowd that came out to show their support at City Hall the day of the parade. Everyone was and is a part of this accomplishment because every team and every athlete constantly pushes each other to succeed here at Union. It was amazing putting Union College on the map, giving Schenectady its own name, not just the city outside Albany. People now recognize Union College in conversations on a resume or job application. And for us athletes, they now know the foundation that Union has built us upon. This win showed the NCAA that at Union, student athletes are scouted for character, discipline, and the hunger to succeed, not just skill, so that the college community can develop us not only into great athletes, but even greater individuals. In closing this speech, no matter whether you held winning or losing records over the past 4 years, make sure you cherish the fact that you were able to play collegiately at Union College. The life experiences have gained here, just by putting on our garnet jerseys, are beneficial enough to help us succeed past graduation. And the bonds established are ones that we will always hold on to and always cherish. The athletic and academic staffs at Union have prepared us all to embark on our next journey. wherever that takes each of us. Trophies, awards, and any other memorabilia will gather dust over the next few years, but the memories that we've had here will last forever. Good luck to everyone, and thanks again to the athletic department, fellow student athletes, families, for allowing me to speak today.
Again, applause for both Amy and Cole. Tremendous. Thank you so much. Now it's time for the seniors, and we'd like to welcome our training staff to the stage for the presentations, as well as President Ainley and Reese McCarty. Thank you. Now, at this time, we will introduce each of the 2013-14 Union College senior student athletes. I please ask to hold your applause until the end. Thank you. We start with Michael Allen of soccer. Jonathan Andrews of lacrosse. Maddie Ashworth, swimming and diving. Andrew Bole of baseball. Matthew Bodie, hockey. Joseph Bradley, baseball. Gregory Bren, crew. Nicholas Bren, crew. Keith Callies, basketball. Timothy Cameron, swimming and diving. Daniel Carr, hockey. Mark Caruso, baseball. Rachel Clegg, swimming and diving. Megan Cole, soccer. Nicole Collins, soccer. Brady Collins, lacrosse. Caitlin Collins, crew. Dean Constant, soccer. Josh Davis, track and field. Patrick DiBenedetto, lacrosse. Brian DeBishop, basketball. Catherine Deegan, field hockey. Kim DeRozier, basketball. Michaela DeSimone, lacrosse. Leo Driscoll, football. Vincent Esposito, baseball. Michael Ewing, football. Allison Feldman, lacrosse. Kelsey Fish, soccer. Alexandra Flake, field hockey. Rachel Gesselter, track and field. Caroline Gorka, soccer. Madeline Granado, basketball. Christopher Green, football. Lauren Hefkemeyer, crew. Matt Hatch, hockey. Brian Havlicek, football. Adam Herzog, swimming and diving. Rhea Howard, crew. Cole Ikola, hockey. Ashley Johnston, hockey. Tanner Jones, lacrosse. Sean Joyce, lacrosse. Tosin Kazim, football, track and field. Elena Kozane, crew. Juliette Lazalier, lacrosse. Charles Law, football. Jake Leibowitz, football. Amy Loya, basketball. Jackie Masser, cross country. Kyle McHugh, soccer. Mary McCune, field hockey. Kelsey McDonald, basketball. Kyle McQuiggan, lacrosse. Isabel McCrae, crew. Stephen Milia, lacrosse. Nicole Marigliano, field hockey. Michael Maselli, football. Greg Mooney, lacrosse. Samantha Muratori, tennis. Elizabeth Nailing, cross country. Madeline Norton, hockey. Dane O'Neill, baseball. Emily Opolsky, swimming and diving. Amy Paleshi, softball. Alexander Papalian, track and field. Marissa Peck, golf. David Peretti, baseball. Bill Phillips, swimming and diving. Mac Purvis, hockey. John Quinn, lacrosse. Joshua Rose, football, track and field. Robert Santangelo, lacrosse. Kenny Sales, cross country. Kristen Schmidt, basketball and softball. Kyle Schoonover, football. Dylan Shuck, football, track and field. Kenneth Shunk, football. Melissa Cinto, soccer. Kimberly Seckler, lacrosse. Kelly Sheehan, volleyball. Ryan Schilling, football. James Skelton, soccer. Jake Sudek, soccer. Kevin Sullivan, hockey. Nora Swidler, basketball. Peter Theodoro, football. Stephanie Thompson, hockey. Dylan Tripodi, lacrosse. Marissa Volmer, volleyball. Nicholas Vozella, soccer. Zachary Wall, swimming and diving. Mackenzie Westfall, volleyball. Sarah Wisner, crew. Alyssa Waliko, softball. David Wood, swimming and diving. Kara Zimmerman, cross country, track and field. Now the tough part. Thank you all, seniors, for tremendous memories in the classroom, community, and playing arena. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 Union College Senior Student Athletes.
I just want to thank everyone once again for joining us here today to celebrate these wonderful accomplishments. You can see why we all take great pride in what these young men and women do. We're going to have a reception just following this right across the way in the Knott Memorial. Everyone is invited to attend. We'd hope you'd be there to join us. To the senior student athletes, I can't applaud you enough. I can't thank you enough. I can't look forward more than to be working with you as fellow alumni. And I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you have a terrific commencement weekend. Thank you all.